A senior is struck and killed on a Riverbend street.
A male driver surrendered himself into custody.
After initially leaving the scene, a young man returns several hours later. Plus, the debate over how big is too big for Alberta classrooms.
I had 50 elementary kids in a class at a time.
That is chaos.
The Premier admits if there's no agreement, teachers may be legislated back.
I think the measure is it beginning to cause irreparable harm?
And some big pieces with small price tags.
Our goal is to get art into the hands of collectors.
How you can get an original painting without breaking the bank.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. 2 pedestrians are dead after 2 separate collisions on Calgary streets in less than 12 hours. They both happened while people were trying to cross the street in the southeast, and it comes halfway through Pedestrian Safety Month, with Calgary trending to meet or exceed last year's deadly total. Jordan Canagan reports.
Shortly after 7:30 Thursday morning, the sirens started and emergency crews rushed to Riverbend Drive southeast.
I decided to go out and look, and there was a body on the ground, 2 houses down, and the fire truck or the firemen got there, were doing CPR.
Police say an elderly woman was in an unmarked crosswalk when she was hit by a southbound vehicle. The pedestrian landed 14 meters away in the northbound lane. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
The vehicle wasn't at the scene when we arrived. It left the scene, and probably about 15 minutes ago, the driver, a male driver, surrendered himself into custody.
The driver, in his 20s, turned himself in to officers at the scene hours later.
It's not that busy of a street, so when a pedestrian gets hit, it's kind of the big thing.
Yeah, they're racing up and down here all the time. They're not doing the speed limit.
Thursday's fatal crash happening just 10 hours after another pedestrian was killed. Police say a 47-year-old man was crossing against the light at the intersection of 17th Avenue and 38th Street Southeast Wednesday night. The driver remained at the scene. There have been more than 300 collisions in Calgary involving pedestrians this year. Last year saw 13 pedestrians killed on city streets, a 10-year high. Thursdays marked the 10th of 2025 so far.
The nights are getting darker, the early mornings are getting darker, so if you're out walking, certainly be aware of the traffic that's around you and your surroundings. Wear reflective clothing. Drivers, speed limits are there for a reason. Keep to those speed limit or drive below those speed limits.
Jordan joins us now from Riverbend tonight. So Jordan, what else have you learned about this morning's crash?
Tara, I spoke to a man who says that he talked to the driver who was involved in this Riverbend collision shortly after the crash happened. He says the driver told him that his windshield had fogged up and he thought he had hit a deer. It wasn't until he returned back to the scene hours later he realized what might have happened. Charges have not been announced in either of these fatal pedestrian collisions, but police say the investigations are ongoing. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. There were more rallies today in support of Alberta teachers. The largest gathering was in downtown Edmonton. Thousands of teachers and supporters marched in support of public education. The rally comes as the teacher strike nears the end of its 2nd week. Teachers here say the government needs to address classroom size caps and complex needs supports. Tim Brooke joins us with more now. And Tim, that wasn't the only protest in Alberta today.
Yes, 51,000 teachers and about 750,000 students should be in Alberta classrooms today, Tara, but instead, many of them are in places like this, protesting in both Calgary and Edmonton. Everyone agrees it's time to get back to school, but unfortunately, not everyone agrees on how that should happen. In Calgary, 2 protests attracted dozens in red. In Edmonton, it was more than 1,000. The noise was audible as Danielle Smith addressed Edmonton business leaders and mentioned the most pressing issue at hand.
So we've got a little bit more work to do.
The two sides are still far apart. One of the biggest sticking points is class size.
I had 50 elementary kids in a class at a time, and I was the only adult in the room with those students. It was overwhelming. It was unmanageable.
This teacher of almost 2 decades is currently on leave. She's trying to land a spot on City Council, motivated by her time spent in the education system.
You really need to be able to cater to all the different needs in the classroom, and so they really need to put a cap on the class sizes.
On Wednesday, the Premier claims simply dividing the number of students by teachers should result in 21 kids per class. But the Alberta Teachers Association says not every member is a classroom teacher. Some are counselors, librarians, and specialists.
But we really should not be reaching the 30-plus kids on a regular basis. That is chaos. That is not education.
Alberta doesn't track exactly how many students are in classrooms, but the government does want to get numbers down too. It says, however, a hard cap would mean more infrastructure and staffing spending than is realistic right now. The Premier isn't in favor of back-to-work legislation, but it could still be coming.
We return to the legislature with the throne speech on October the 23rd, and so if we don't have an agreement, you might be looking for something in the week of October 27th. I think the measure is it beginning to cause irreparable harm?
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
New figures from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation show there were more housing starts in Calgary this past September, but the type of construction has changed. This comes as the city is dealing with an affordable housing crisis. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Calgary is standing out in the latest data from the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation.
Year to date, we expect basically another record year, or if not close to record year of construction.
Between January and September 2025, there were 20,893 housing starts. That's a 20% increase over the same period last year. While the number of single detached homes being built remained steady, other types of homes like condos increased 28%.
Several years in Calgary have been oriented towards rental market and rental housing, and but this month it actually stands out quite a bit because the majority of apartment units started are actually condo units.
Michael Mack says these levels are reflective of decisions made months or even years ago when investor confidence was higher than it is now. He attributes some of the boost to construction of a 27-story tower along 4th Street and 11th Avenue getting underway, and there's another big project in the works in the area. Sales for Broadway on 17th will begin Saturday. It's going to be 47 stories, the tallest residential tower in the city.
This is the first time that towers this size really have made its way all the way to 17th Avenue. So we're looking at this project as the first piece of the puzzle of what the new vision of 17th Avenue and the development can be.
High housing starts is good news to this city as people deal with an affordability crisis.
Through the Home is Here strategy, which came into effect in January of 2024, we've begun to see some of the actions that we've put into place have results in the housing supply and demand interface. That looks like increase in vacancy rates, some decrease in rental prices, some moderation of home prices, but I would say we still have a long way to go.
And Jackie joins us now from the Beltline corner where that massive residential tower is going up. So, Jackie, how is the face of that neighborhood changing?
Yes, Tara. So, you know what? Lots of people, they work downtown, but they don't necessarily live here. So we know that during the weekdays, it is very busy, but at places like Stephen Avenue on the weekend, they can be absolutely dead. And so the city is trying to change that. They actually have a program going right now. It's called the Downtown Density Bonusing Offset Program. So it's encouraging these high-density projects like the one behind me that's going to be almost 400 units to go ahead. And there's even more construction happening right now. So a little further north down on 4th Street right now and 11th Avenue. New condo there. The construction is already going. It's going to be almost 300 units. And while these massive projects are underway right now, the CMHC actually thinks that housing starts will begin to slow down by the start of 2026. Back to you.
Okay, Jackie, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A coveted moment in Calgary's history is helping raise funds so local kids can play sports. The Hangin' in the Dome, Chillin' with Jerome t-shirt was created during the 2004 Stanley Cup run when Jerome McGinley led the team. Back then, it was sold to raise money for Kidsport Calgary. Local company Sea of Dead has now re-released the shirt for the 30th anniversary of that nonprofit. The goal is to raise $10,000, though now sales are online instead of along the Red Mile on 17th Ave.
Back then, that's how we sold almost all the T-shirts. Is Vibe 98.5 at the time had a van, and people would just come up with $20 bills, and we'd sell them T-shirts. But it was such an awesome experience, and Jerome has been was involved with Kidsport Calgary for a very long time, and so it was just this awesome partnership.
The T-shirt creators got permission to use a childhood image of Jerome playing hockey with them in St. Albert. The $30 T-shirts have already been so popular, there is currently a wait list. Well, hopefully you got outside to enjoy the nicest day of the week today. Danielle joins us now. We got pretty spoiled today.
Oh, we sure did, Tara. And I would say if you're headed out now, a light jacket may be needed. But I'm at the point right now where I'm refusing to wear a jacket until tomorrow. Tomorrow, you will definitely need it because it will be significantly cooler. So yes, as Tara said, hopefully you've had a second to enjoy the heat from today and the bright sunshine. Our high was 18, believe it or not. We're down to 15 now at the airport as things cool down for the day. The wind's picking up a little bit, a front moving in, so certainly if you're outside you can see the clouds kicking in at this point, and small chance of an isolated shower now and tomorrow morning, a greater chance of seeing some showers tomorrow afternoon with some thunderstorm activity possible, plus a cool wind picking up out of the northwest at 50 kilometers per hour and only a high of 8. More details on that coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. The Prime Minister announces a new bail reform bill coming next week. It's aimed at cracking down on violent and repeat offenders. The plan also includes money for more RCMP officers. And the original lead guitarist and founding member of KISS, Ace Frehley, has passed away. Well, we're learning about his death next. A High River man is being remembered for his incredible acts of kindness and generosity after he passed away this week in a devastating house fire. Friends and neighbors are coming together to support his family and celebrate the legacy he leaves behind. Here's Mark Villani.
Quite a mess, eh? John Malinowski may have lost his home, but on Tuesday morning, he also lost a piece of himself.
Within 5 minutes, I was here. And it was just chaotic.
A fire broke out at the Malinowski home around 10 a.m. Inside was John's 46-year-old son, Clint, who was living in the basement. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but crews say the flames and smoke were too intense to reach him on time.
An incident of this magnitude in a small community does rock a community. We want to offer our condolences to the family, the friends, the neighbors, and the relatives.
Clint is described as a loving father, known for his generosity and always going out of his way to help High River's homeless population.
And I don't think there's many in town here that wouldn't know him by his first name and that he hadn't given a ride to or spent some time with.
Left behind is Clint's son, Max. Now 16 years old, he reflects on all he's learned from someone he called his best friend.
He taught me to just be a great person, you know, like just because someone's not nice to you doesn't mean that you shouldn't be nice to them.
And Clint's kindness isn't going unnoticed. A GoFundMe page raised nearly $13,000 just 2 days after the fire. One neighbor says he started it because he was inspired by Clint's compassion.
He'd give the shirt off his back, right? You want to bring the community together and support them as much as you can.
Local businesses are helping out too. Shoppers Drug Mart is offering free essential items to the Malinowski family.
It's always better to give back and support each other. And that's how we make a strong community strong.
High River's Mexican community is also honoring Clint in its upcoming Day of the Dead celebration.
We are part of this town, so I feel like we lost a member of our big family.
But while this family grieves over their loss, they're finding just a little bit of comfort from the support of their community.
High River strong. Still there. Thank you.
Mark Villani, CTV News in High River.
And for more details on how to donate to the Malinowski family, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. A promise today from Ottawa to get tougher on crime. After years of pressure from the province and police, the Prime Minister says a new bill to be tabled next week will crack down on violent and repeat offenders through strong reforms on sentencing and bail. And there is a pledge to hire more police. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
The federal government says a crackdown on repeat violent offenders is coming.
It will no longer be up to the Crown to prove why someone should stay behind bars. It will be up to the accused to prove to the court why they can be trusted to be released.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says next week the Liberals will introduce long-awaited bail reform legislation to keep those accused of serious crimes out of the community. The new bill will also amend the criminal code to allow consecutive sentencing for those convicted of multiple crimes, end conditional sentences for a series of sexual offenses, and impose tougher penalties for organized retail thefts. These amendments are aimed at addressing headline-making crimes, including the surge in some cities of brazen smash-and-grab robberies. But they're getting mixed reviews from criminal defense lawyers.
And I think it's a measured approach. But at the end of the day, they just send a message because it don't really change that much, I have to say. But it sends the message that there is public concern.
I think it may work to curb that type of behavior, but I also think it is a ton of lip service.
These measures come after concerted pressure from premiers, police forces, and opposition parties.
And yet Mark Carney has done absolutely nothing to reverse the Liberal laws that caused this chaos and carnage.
Today, Carney also announced a nearly $2 billion funding boost for the RCMP. Coming in the next budget, the money will go towards hiring 1,000 new officers, increasing the cadet recruitment allowance, and dedicating more personnel to probing financial crimes.
The devil is in the details. We're going to take a look at what comes out next week, but we're happy to see that we were listened to and some of the things we advocated for were included.
Carney is set to continue his pre-budget pre-positioning tomorrow. The Prime Minister has plans to make what he called an important announcement on border security. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Edmonton, police have charged a 38-year-old man with second-degree murder in the death of 14-year-old Samuel Bird. The teen has been missing since June. Posters went up across the city, and there has been a major effort to search for the Indigenous teen by his family, supporters, and police. His remains were found today in a wooded area outside of the city. Police charge Brian Farrell and say they are not looking for any other suspects. Calgary police are looking for 3 suspects wanted for fraud in a crime that began by stealing a piece of mail. In July, a man took an envelope from a home in the Southwest which had a credit card inside. Police say the thieves then racked up more than $23,000 in purchases at several Home Depot locations. Police are releasing security images of the 3 suspects. If you recognize any of them, investigators would like to hear from you. After 6 years of increases, the number of hate crimes reported in Canada remains high. New data from Statistics Canada shows more than 2,200 hate crimes have been reported to police this year. That's down by just 3 incidents from this time last year. Nearly half of the reported crimes are related to race or ethnicity. About a quarter were related to religion, and 12% because of sexual orientation. A former member of Donald Trump's cabinet turned harsh critic of the president has now been indicted on federal charges.
I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy.
Former National Security Advisor John Bolton was charged today with illegally storing and transmitting classified information. FBI agents searched his home in August, reportedly seizing documents marked classified or secret. Bolton is the 3rd opponent of Trump to face federal charges after former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Original lead guitarist and founding member of Kiss, Ace Frehley, has died at 74. The glam rock band captivated audiences with elaborate makeup and smoke-filled guitar sets. Frehley died peacefully, surrounded by family in New Jersey following a recent fall, according to his agent. He and his bandmates were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now for our 5-day forecast. We had a pretty great start. If we start with today.
Yes, start with today.
Let's include it.
We have to make sure we include today because it doesn't get better than this for the next 10 days. If you're talking heat, sunshine, I mean, we'll get more sunshine in that long-range forecast, but oh my goodness, we got up to 18 degrees in the city today. Not bad for mid-October. Now we're dipping for the day, so we're down to 15, but at this time of night, or evening, you could say, in the middle of October, these are pretty warm temperatures in those mid-teens in Brooks and Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, Milk River. A little cooler, Pincher Creek, 11 degrees, and it was certainly gusty there as well. As you can see, this is a look at maximum wind gusts. So no gusts in most communities, 65 kilometers per hour is the max. We are looking at gusts 50 to 60 kilometers per hour possible in all of southern Alberta for tomorrow. And that will be a cold wind, predominantly out of the northwest, plus temperatures will be much cooler, so be prepared for a day where you need a jacket. Hard to kind of tell when you look at the heat from today. All right, we have this cloud deck rolling through this front. It's producing some cloud cover. Most of the moisture, though, is in central Alberta, and it's getting eaten up by the mountains here and dying out as it approaches the QE2. So this is not really a weather maker for us, other than things are cooling down quicker now. We have the jet stream in the darker green here. That's going to shift stateside. That's going to open it up for cooler air to move in from the north, and it's going to settle in. So we're not looking at daytime highs at 17, 18 degrees for at least the next few days. We'll get close to that, though, later next week. All right, so here we go. There's that bunch of cloud cover just pushing through, and then tomorrow is the key thing. This is the cold front that's going to spark up some showers, so we even have the potential for showers later in the morning in Calgary. A little bit of snow for the high elevations, the mountaintops, and then this, you can see here, these pockets suggesting by this model that thunderstorm activity is possible. So we do have that potential in Calgary along Highway 2 and even off to the east of QE2 and off to the east of Highway 2 right up until, as you can see here, even 9 p.m. So thunderstorm activity possible, much cooler temperatures, gusty day, lots of cloud cover. Then it breaks apart. So sunshine for Saturday, and then we have more cloud cover and a small chance of showers rolling back in for Sunday. So here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Just 8 tomorrow. Compare that to the 18 today, and a cold wind gusting at 50 kilometers per hour to the northwest, plus cloud cover, the chance of showers, and even thunderstorm activity. Bright for Saturday, and by the weekend, we get back into those double digits. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Top health officials from the provinces and territories are meeting in Calgary for a health summit. Provincial and territorial ministers gathered to discuss healthcare issues. They also plan to set up a united front in discussions with the federal health minister when it comes to healthcare spending. Many discussions centered around primary care access and the physician shortage. The president of the Canadian Medical Association hopes that these discussions translate into improvements.
1 in 5 Canadians do not have access to primary care, so we need to look at multiple solutions to increase the number of physicians we have practicing. So retaining, recruiting, training more, and allowing people who wish to practice in our country to come.
Tomorrow, the federal minister of health will join the summit. A Calgary man took his cat to the vet and was shocked to later receive a surprise visit by the Calgary Humane Society. We'll explain his dilemma. And original art that could go on your living room wall at a bargain basement price. Stay with us. A Calgary cat owner says he is facing a real dilemma: a pricey dental surgery for his elderly feline, or else surrender it. The Calgary Humane Society is demanding he get the surgery done or face possible charges and fines. But Adam Nixon believes it's a risky surgery for his senior cat. Tyson Fedor reports.
Leo, the 15-year-old tabby cat, loves to climb, eat, and play. But in July, his owner, Adam Nixon, noticed a mass growing under his chin one day after work. He rushed Leo to the VCA Marlborough Animal Hospital. The exam and medications costing $288.
Wanted some antibiotics for the cat and some painkillers, and then also recommended dental treatment.
But the dental treatment soon went from recommendation to mandated, and the fee about $1,500, money Nixon says he does not have, and the worries about anesthetic in such an old cat. Still, Nixon shopped around the procedure at other clinics, offering a slightly cheaper rate.
I got 2 vets that told me Normally this is an optional treatment, but because the Humane Society is involved, it's not optional anymore.
The Calgary Humane Society says it's investigating following a complaint from the vet, but would not comment on the specifics of this case. The clinic acknowledged it alerted CHS, but would not answer any questions.
We don't want to seize animals and fill this shelter with them. There is an obligation to report on behalf of veterinarians as well, and so we do get a fair number of those calls. We are duty-bound to investigate.
Last week, Nixon was greeted by peace officers at his house who issued him a compliance order, demanding he complete the dental work by October 22nd.
It's an informal document that really just lays out what we've told them verbally, and so it is most easy for us when we already have direction from a veterinarian who has reported a concern of veterinary non-compliance.
I'm trying to weigh the risks of putting him through serious surgery, the recovery of that, potential complications therein, versus just letting him live out a normal life.
If Nixon fails to comply, he could face up to a $20,000 fine and a lifetime ban on owning animals if convicted.
I know there's some people out there that are going to say, just do the surgery. And if I had some indication that he was in pain, that he needed this, it wouldn't be a question in my mind.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Nixon says he is still unsure what he will do. He has until October 22nd to be in compliance. 2 orphaned grizzly cubs can now call the Calgary Zoo their forever home. The cubs were brought to the zoo in mid-September after Fish and Wildlife says their mother was shot and killed by a hunter she charged near Diamond Valley. The Wilder Institute says the pair would have died in the wild because they're so young and will keep the cubs at the zoo. The female and the male don't have a name yet, but the zoo says they are adapting well. The public will not be able to see them until the spring. A wildlife photographer on the hunt for an elusive picture not only finally got it, he's won a major award for the eerie snap. We'll tell you how long it took to capture this image next. The price of original art can be pretty expensive and frankly unaffordable for many people. But this week, ArtSpot Calgary is hosting its annual show featuring the work of 50 local artists. And the beauty of this show is that all of the art on sale is for $200 or less. Kevin Fleming reports.
She's been part of the show for 9 years, and Vivian Pachenko likes to add a little flair to the images she paints.
I just love colors and colorful things, and so, as you can tell. And so I kind of start off with more realistic and then kind of work my way through that fear of having it look like the actual, to looking like something that I love, like the colors and the bold strokes and stuff.
Her larger paintings typically sell for close to $600, but here they're priced for just $200. That's because everything in the space is listed at $200 or less.
Our goal is to get art into the hands of collectors and also to help artists, local artists, sell their art and get art out of their homes and hands.
ArtSpot Calgary has built a large and loyal following for the event. It began by selling local artists' original works for $100 or less.
This is our second year of the under 200, but this year is our 18th year of the under 100. And we find that people really come out in droves to buy art at this show.
Tracy Lapointe says the show is a chance for her to move some inventory and make room for new projects.
The people that come out to the show, it's nice to, when you're volunteering, you can stand back and you watch them kind of look at your art and really be impressed, and you're like, okay, that one didn't impress me, but so everyone's taste is different.
Christian Fredrickson has brought prints of some of his work that are much more affordable than the originals.
I think one thing that ArtSpot has done really well is they've built a dedicated clientele. And I know if I bring my art here, it's going to get into a lot of people's hands. And a lot of people are going to see it.
Organizers say there's likely something for everyone at the show. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The show runs from today until Sunday at a gallery space on 10th Avenue Southwest. We have posted more information about it on our website. Alberta has a new artist in residence, and he will be taking his show on the road.
You know, time is money. It don't grow on trees. Are you listening to me? When you're older, you will know.
Juno nominee John Ward Hannam will be the artist in residence until September of next year. His residency project is called Everyone Has a Story. Ward Hannam will visit 10 rural, remote, and inner-city communities across Alberta in the next year and host songwriting workshops.
Music has an amazing way of bridging gaps between generations, gaps between cultures, between different points of view. And I think that when people express their voices and when people are open to listening to them, we realize that we actually have more in common than we think.
The residency comes with a grant for up to $50,000. Terrific.
Sounds great.
Okay, wait till you guys see this. A South African photographer has earned top honors in his field after capturing a kind of an eerie photo of an animal so rare it took him 10 years to snap a picture of one. So this is kind of a haunting image of a brown hyena standing in front of an abandoned building in a former diamond mining town in Namibia. The prize-winning picture beat out more than 60,000 entries to claim the 2025 Wildlife Photographer of the Year award. Other amazing photos featured include a longhorn beetle in central Italy posing in front of an abandoned logging machinery. And then this guy, a picture shows an orphaned giant anteater trailing its caregiver at a rehab center.
You got to be so patient.
So patient. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Glenn, where are your bird pics? Did you submit?
For those who don't know, Glenn doesn't like birds. So no, you wouldn't be spending all day waiting on a bird.
No.
Well, forget daycare drop-off. This daycare in Edmonton does all the picking up. All aboard the bus to Party Dogs Daycare. These playful pups love heading to school so much, they just charge from their house onto the bus. They know all their friends are there. That's a fun-looking day.
Hope there's no drinking on that bus. Only water.
It looks like there might be.
Bowls of water, that's all. That's all. Well, pets often play favorites with their parents, and sad to say, it is obvious when you're the spare human. Oh, heartbreaking. Bella's a daddy's girl. This healer gives all the cuddles to dad, and then mom tries to go in for a snuggle, and she's like, no thanks.
Nope. Sorry.
You're not my person.
Poor mom.
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Well, here's something you don't hear every day. Your bank may be lowering fees. We'll tell you about some new rules that are in the works coming up in our business report.
Ooh, Skywatch weather camera looking pretty cool. We have this band of cloud cover, and right behind it as well, there's a band of some moisture, but most of that is drying up before it gets to Calgary. But don't be surprised to see the odd raindrop within the next hour, throughout the next hour. Okay, normal is 12. Now we're sitting at 15, but today we got to the toasty 18. And in fact, all communities still sitting, for the most part, in the teens in much of southern Alberta, from Calgary down to Lethbridge, Milk River, Medicine Hat, Brooks, Drumheller. Yes, it was a toasty day. And this is a sign of the changes to come. So this is just the first wave, some cloud cover. We have a little bit of moisture in this. All the moisture, for the most part, is up in central Alberta, but there is this little wave of it right here. Again, breaking apart before it reaches the city. A lot of it evaporating before it gets here as well, but you could see a raindrop here and there throughout this next half hour to an hour. And then that's done. It's tomorrow, the cold front that swipes through, creating all of this. So it's a very different day tomorrow compared to what we had today. Today, a high of 18, tomorrow just a high of 8. This comes with the potential for thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. Certainly the chance of pop-up showers, a good amount of cloud cover, and it will be gusting in the afternoon out of the northwest, which is a cold wind up to 50 kilometers per hour. That was your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Cooler temperatures overall. Kamloops 13 tomorrow, Kelowna 12, Edmonton as well 12, Red Deer 11, Drumheller 12, with a chance of some showers, and all in the south we have a chance of showers. 11 degrees for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat as a high tomorrow. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. We have breaking news in the northeast. Emergency services are responding to another crash involving a pedestrian. It happened just before 6 o'clock near the intersection of Whitehorn Drive and 36th Street. Emergency crews transported an adult to Foothills Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There is no word yet on charges. Now, this comes as 2 pedestrians died in separate crashes on Calgary streets this morning. A woman in her 70s or 80s was fatally hit by a vehicle in Riverbend. Overnight, a man died while crossing 17th Avenue near 38th Street Southeast. And the Prime Minister is introducing new legislation aimed at getting tougher on crime. There are plans to hire 1,000 Mounties and to make it more difficult for those accused of serious crimes to get bail. The minister in charge of Prairies Economic Development Canada says Alberta's pipeline proposal will be considered along with any other nation-building project.
As a proud Albertan, I can certainly say that Alberta is entitled as any other proponent, to put forward a plan for a project that it feels should be considered as a project of national interest. Whatever Alberta puts forward will go through the same analysis and the same criteria as other proponents.
Edmonton MP Eleanor Olszewski says as of now, the details of any specific pipeline project are currently unknown. She acknowledged Premier Daniel Smith's plan to spend $14 million on the initial planning stages for a bitumen pipeline to BC. As far as whether Ottawa would step in to resolve the dispute between the province's premiers over that potential pipeline, Olszewski says anything is possible, but the hope is that something can be worked out that is to the advantage of both provinces. Canada Post says it will prioritize reliable and affordable mail delivery across the country as it moves ahead with major operational changes to cope with a worsening financial picture. On September 25th, Federal Procurement Minister Joël Lightbound gave the Crown Corporation 45 days to come up with a plan to get its business back on track. He also approved changes to the Post Service's mandate, including phasing out door-to-door delivery for homes that still receive it. Canada Post today said it will ensure that vital postal services for rural, remote, and Indigenous communities will be protected. It also pledged to be fair and respectful to employees as changes are rolled out. 55,000 unionized postal workers walked off the job in late September to protest the changes. Mail is moving again as they're now on a rotating strike. The rules around how much banks can charge you for having insufficient funds is changing, and it could mean more than $500,000 in savings for Canadians. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
The Credit Counseling Society says those charges add up to about $600 million in revenue for banks. That's because banks often charge customers up to $50 when they don't have enough money to cover costs. But the rules change in March. Those fees will be capped at $10, and banks won't be allowed to charge you if the shortfall is under $10. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction. It ended the day at 71.16. West Texas Intermediate also down to 57.48. Western Canadian Select down as well to 47.55. And the TSX dropped 178 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
With Diwali and Halloween approaching, the city is reminding residents that personal fireworks are prohibited within city limits. So is the sale and possession of them. In Calgary, fireworks can only be operated by certified professionals with a valid permit. Police say last year they received more than 200 calls in 1 week about unauthorized fireworks. In one instance, the airport considered shutting down an active runway because of fireworks being set off nearby. Fines for fireworks violations range from $250 all the way up to $500,000. The regular season is winding down for Cavalry FC, and there's a lot at stake heading into the playoffs. Glenn explains next. Carter Hart, one of the hockey players found not guilty in a high-profile sexual assault trial in Ontario, is returning to the NHL. The goalie from Sherwood Park last played for Philadelphia. He is now signing a professional tryout contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. He'll be eligible to play his first game after December 1st. Hart and 4 other members of Canada's 2018 World Junior team were acquitted in July. He's the first of that group to be given a shot with an NHL team. The tough start to the season continues for the Calgary Flames. Glenn is back with us. Glenn, the Flames were in Utah last night hoping to put an end to their 3-game losing streak.
Tara, for the second time in this young season, the Flames had to play back-to-back games. Didn't arrive in Utah until 3:30 in the morning. And they looked like a tired hockey club, but it was a decent start for the Flames on the power play. Rasmus Andersson gets credit for this one. That is his first of the season, 1-0 for the Flames. And Devin Cooley making his first start of the season for the Flames, and I thought he was excellent. He stops Logan Cooley on the break here. Flames led 1-0 after 1, but the Flames completely fell apart in the second. Early in the period, Barrett Hayton will blast it past Cooley, ties the game at 1, and then just a few minutes after that, J.J. Peterka in on the break, and he is going to beat Cooley right there. The Mammoth with their first lead of the game. They would add an empty net goal, beat the Flames 3-1. Calgary's now lost 4 in a row, and it doesn't get any easier as they're in Vegas to play the Golden Knights on Saturday night. Well, we're now down to the final week of the regular season in the Canadian Premier League, and a lot on the line for Cavalry FC. Cavalry FC wraps up the regular season on Saturday as they travel west to face Vancouver FC. Right now, Cavalry sits in 3rd place in CPL standings. A win or a tie, and they'll remain in that spot. Captain and goalkeeper Marco Carducci says the goal is to head into playoffs in 3rd place.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to think on one hand. The year has just come and gone, but it's also been a long year as well. So. You know, this is an exciting time. A lot to play for on the weekend in terms of our playoff seeding, and we want to host that 3rd place game here. So, yeah, we're excited.
Vancouver's in dead last in the standings with just 4 wins, 8 draws, and 15 losses. Cavalry could only manage a win and 2 draws against Vancouver in the regular season. And they lost in the quarterfinals to Vancouver in the Canadian Championship. So taking them lightly isn't an option.
And they've proven that with the success they've had in the Can Champ, and all credit to them. They had some fabulous results on their run, and they've been a lot different since Martin Nash come in. They've had, I think, they're 5 games unbeaten. They've brought in some new players, and they've got some terrific players before that, so they'll be a very difficult opponent to play against.
A loss to Vancouver, and Cavalry could fall to 4th or 5th in the standings. Right now they have 41 points. The Wanderers and York United are right on their tails with 39 and 38 points.
I think if you gave us this, this scenario far in advance, we'd say we want to have control of our own destiny. Obviously, 3rd place counts for a lot. So we know if we take care of business, that's the position is there for us, and that's what our focus is on.
Kickoff for Sunday's game, 2 o'clock in Vancouver. Blue Jays Mariners, game number 4 in the 2nd inning. No score between those 2 clubs right now.
Good stuff. Thank you, Glenn. Let's get our final peek at the forecast.
Yeah, so very different day tomorrow. Be prepared for tomorrow. Today's high was 18, tomorrow 8. So significantly cooler, just temperature alone. But then you add the cold northwest wind at 50 kilometers per hour, and that will make it feel even cooler. Plus more cloud cover, plus isolated showers, plus the risk of a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon hours. So yeah, be ready for that. Okay, but we rebound for the weekend into the double digits once again. Brighter on Saturday, more cloud cover on Sunday with that chance of showers. And let's be honest, the last 2 days have been stunning, and this picture is stunning. Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Roy Miller sent this in. This was taken near just west of Diamond Valley. This is the Sheep River Cattle Drive. And I just want to try and take the banner out. Can I do that? Look at the snow-capped mountains. That's a stunning photo.
That is quintessential Alberta.
And the pup leading the way.
And the pup. I love that too. Yeah. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.